We know how it ended. Kong was revived and Godzilla saved from the deadly metal grip of MechaGodzilla. Both icons went out of the movie headed in their own directions, set for unknown futures. But what if they never left the city of Hong Kong alive? In this theory video, we will delve into the idea of MechaGodzilla surviving the epic monster clash and becoming the king of the monsters. Where would it go? What would it do? And how much destruction would it cause will all be brought to life. Residents, welcome to Dangerville. Let's get to it. To set this theory in motion, we need to get to the point in the story right before the hot girl from Godzilla vs. Kong was killed. Remember how they picked up a sample from the Hollow Earth energy source? The plan was to get this physical specimen back to the surface world and for that brick of energy to power MechaGodzilla. Unfortunately for them, they didn't make it. Let's say they did though. They quickly make their way back through the hole recently created by Godzilla, and in a short time they burst out the other end and go straight towards the Apex facility hidden in Hong Kong. With Apex now having a physical specimen of the energy source, the need to create a copy of the energy would no longer exist. And this source of pure energy would quickly be broken down and partially placed into MechaGodzilla's power reserves, through some sort of techno-wizardry. It was said in the lore that with just the recreation of the power source that was used to power up MechaGodzilla in the movie, that the mech would go on to stay active for at least 24 hours. Meaning for a full day, MechaGodzilla would have tormented as much as mechanically possible. But now with the true source of energy powering it from within, the time MechaGodzilla could keep running would likely go on for weeks or even months. And with this extreme power, MechaGodzilla would still be made active without proper testing due to Godzilla's incoming rampage at the time. Except now, the power being significantly greater kickstarts an even deadlier threat. The rapid surge of power not only fried Serizawa's mind, forging it together with the Ghidorah spirit remaining in the skull of the monster, the energy now allowed much more of Ghidorah's sentient thoughts to come back. In the book for Godzilla vs. Kong, it describes MechaGodzilla as a naive Frankenstein-like creation. It didn't know it was Ghidorah, Ren, and the AI from the added Apex technology. It just knew it was alive and knew it had so much power. MechaGodzilla in the movie was simply out for a bit of fun. But in this theory, the added energy helps connect to the alien telepathic waves of Ghidorah's skull even greater. Meaning that MechaGodzilla was now truly Ghidorah in a new mechanical body. Just as Kong climbed his way up out of the hole and into Hong Kong, he meets up with Godzilla just as we saw in the movie, and the two begin to fight. Back at the Apex base, Ghidorah's takeover had begun. The events that happen here follow similar routes as what we saw in the movie. Simmons dies, but now his daughter dies side by side with him. For realism, let's say that Madison and the boys were also killed in this theory. In our world, main characters aren't protected by plot armor. MechaGodzilla, or Ghidorah, bursts out from the mountain and sees the one who killed him fighting out in the distance. All thought of Kong was irrelevant. Nothing but vengeance came through the robot's now sentient mind. Now not holding anything back, fully utilizing the full arsenal within its body, MechaGodzilla unleashes a massive missile barrage from its chest, followed up with a devastating laser beam barrage. Caught up in their fight, Kong and Godzilla are blindsided. The missiles, designed for penetration of Godzilla's hide, rip through Kong. The beast roars in complete pain and crumbles to the ground, blood gushing out of its massive wounds and the fate of the ape unknown. Godzilla was able to shrug off the missile barrage due to Kong taking the majority of the damage, but was then quickly hit with a laser strike to the chest. This shocked the G-Man, and he was quickly enraged and charged on all fours towards MechaGodzilla. An epic battle of these two gods would take place. Godzilla was still weakened from digging into the Hollow Earth, and MechaGodzilla was now at least 5 times stronger. Godzilla was losing, and in this theory, Kong never woke up to save him. MechaGodzilla grabs Godzilla's jaws, spreads them wide, and with a mechanical twisted noise that could only be mistaken for a chuckle of sorts, shot its beam and melted Godzilla's head clean off. Godzilla was no more. Kong was no more. Humanity was in shock, and Ghidorah now could finally finish its mission that started eons ago. The days that followed were intense to say the least. China, after losing millions of lives and even more money, decided to give the mech everything they had. In a day, half of the Chinese military was destroyed, and the country had crumbled in a state of panic and dismay. The rest of the world watched and started to plan a way to stop this monster. The monster, though, had a plan of its own. As its power slowly drained out, it was able to understand it only had so much time alive in its metal shell of a body. With the mind of Ren Serizawa and Ghidorah's ancient knowledge of the Hollow Earth and its vast supply of energy and power, it was able to compute that it needed to get this power in order to stay alive. MechaGodzilla's greatest desire was indeed to be alive. The quickest way to the Hollow Earth was back down the hole in Hong Kong. The measly human forces placed there to stop the monster were ravaged in seconds. Ghidorah had finally made it, to the place it sought out tens of thousands of years ago when it first came to Earth. Without a Gojira, nothing could guard this place now. The local wildlife would react to the monster, but they would all perish. Nothing could stop MechaGodzilla. With its techno abilities, the monster could create nearly unlimited amounts of energy to continue to stay alive off of. In a last-ditch attempt to save the surface world, mankind detonates explosives on every known Hollow Earth entrance and exit. In a mechanical body of its greatest enemy, Ghidorah would kill all in the Hollow Earth that were a threat in any way. No Titan was safe, and the lesser creatures grew terrified and hardly ever shown themselves. Ghidorah had finally become the ruler of the planet, trapped in the Hollow Earth for now. One day, though, it would figure out a way to return to the surface and finish off the pesky humans who always got in the way. One thing this monster could not understand, though, is that its metal body could not last forever. The damage received in every battle would add up. No amount of energy can stop the slow decay of time. Even the greatest of scientific creations will still lose the war against time. It's uncertain how long it would take, but without any proper care, the mecha body would slowly fall apart. Ghidorah's victory would turn into a slow, agonizing death. It felt no pain, not physically at least, but in its mind. The spirit of Ghidorah and Ren Serizawa would know they were dying, and they could do nothing about it. One day mankind would assume it was safe, and attempt to go back in the Hollow Earth. And what they would find there would haunt them. The beautiful land of the Hollow Earth was now empty and void of life. The shell of the mecha giant would be found, all rusted and void of life. The body had died, but the mind. Right before critical failure, the urge to stay alive forced Mecha-G to store its memories and processes deep within. A tiny trace amount of energy would keep the soul alive. Even if the body sat lifeless for thousands of years, one day, the arrogance of others may just unleash a sleeping monster to once again haunt them. Residence Jacob here. I hope you enjoyed that theory video. If you want to see more videos like that, give us some ideas down below and help share this video around, like it, comment, do all that YouTube stuff to help the algorithm gods keep the video in their favor. Thank you all for your time today. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next one.